Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Michael Caine. You may know me from films such as Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, Inception, The Kingsman. Now you see me. Interstellar, The Prestige, Austin Powers Gold Member, The Italian Job. The man who would be king. Zulu. Get Carter. Dirty rotten scoundrels. Sleuth. Educating Rita.
Sir,
Alfie.
okay, Mr. Caine.
Harry Brown. Yes?
What are you doing, sir?
I believe I'm just giving a list of my movies so that your audience knows who they're listening to.
Mr. Caine,
Batman Begins.
Mr. Caine, I have a
The
question.
Dark
I have a question. Mr. Caine, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear about the Michael Caine blow-up doll by chance?
I don't know this one.
Well, evidently it's so realistic that the ego inflates itself.
Funny, because much like that doll, you can go yourself.
Oh my gosh, did he just storm out?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we were never going to get started at this point.
That's true. Yeah, he was.
That guy is a little full of himself, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, he's a great actor, but come on. I mean, that was just a little much, don't you think?
Too much.
Well, now that that's over with,
Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, sorry. If you're Michael Caine fans, I hope that I didn't offend anyone.
You offended him.
Well, I mean, that's fine because we needed to get this podcast started.
Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah.
So
this is Nerds with Mics, not IMDb.
Yeah, exactly. So welcome to this episode of Nerds with Mics. This is episode 6.
Yeah.
Are we doing something
You got
right?
it, man.
Are we doing something right?
Number 6. Our numbers.
We're doing something.
Yeah, I can't say that it's right, but we're doing something. So, well, welcome everyone. If it's morning, noon, night, whenever you're listening, we appreciate you stopping in.
Stop on in, guys.
Yeah, stop on in. Hang out.
Yeah, everyone knows your name here.
Yeah.
Just the three of us
Cheers.
and you.
Yeah, just that sounds like the intro to a bad movie. Just the three of us and you. So that's really strange. All right, well, let's not waste any time. So let's talk about what we've been up to. Justin, why don't you start us off?
I have not been up to much. Played a little bit of Doom with you just the other day. Yesterday, in fact. And that was awesome. I played a little bit of Overwatch. But when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. I haven't got to put a lot of time into either one.
Yeah, myself, I've really been diving into Doom. It was one of those games where I was a fan of the older ones, but I just wasn't sure if it was going to be one of those games that I was still interested in playing. And per Maxwell's recommendation of him kind of talking about the game before it came out and some of the stuff that he's seen, I decided to pick it up. And boy, am I glad I did. It's a great game. It can be a little hectic at times, which Justin, seeing some of the stuff that we've played through. But I really, really like it. One of the big things I like about it, Maxwell, I don't know if you knew this or not, but there is a mode in the game called Snap Map that actually allows you to create your own maps. And you're also connected to a network that allows you to be able to download other people's maps and also their game modes. So there's an infinite amount of things that you can do in the game as far as that mode is concerned.
That's fantastic. That's really a good way to take on some of the newer things that games are starting to develop.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, other than that, I have played some Overwatch. I haven't gotten heavily into the game. I've been going through the tutorial or the training and just doing practice modes and figuring out what characters I want to play. But oddly enough, I didn't think I was going to like that game because it's strictly multiplayer only, and I don't generally get into those games. But the gameplay mechanics are really fun. It just is a fast-paced game. It's easy to pick up and play if you only got a few minutes to play. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So, Maxwell, what about you? I know that you haven't had much time to play games, but what else have you been doing down there in 305?
Yeah, whenever I get off work, because that's all I've kind of been doing since our last podcast, I just come home and I spend a couple hours watching just stupid stuff like Adventure Time. I just need something that my brain can become mush and just not have to think about stuff.
I've never seen a single episode of Adventure Time.
I haven't either.
Is it awesome?
Well, you're missing a lot.
Oh.
It's actually, yeah, it's honestly, it's really good. I've been pooping stuff.
that's really odd.
That's a weird thing to
do
say.
you prefer
yeah.
it over SpongeBob SquarePants or poop in your pants? I guess. You're gonna tell us you want to cut this, but the
Yeah.
conversation's going so well. I just don't know
we're
if
not
I even
cutting
want
this.
to. And
Boom!
Boom in my pants.
Maxwell, do you have a bathroom emergency you need to take care of?
Did I have a what?
A bathroom emergency you need to take care of?
Nope, it's already over.
Oh, Jesus.
all right, well, you just got to sit in disappointment the rest of this podcast.
One more thing. I actually forgot to mention this, what I've been playing. I've been playing the Legend Maker Alpha on their Kickstarter page. Have you played that?
I actually did download the alpha, which oddly enough, it's the first Kickstarter campaign that I have personally seen with an actual demo that you can actually download
Yeah.
and play, and you don't even have to, donate at first to get that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good move on the developer's part, being able to have something tangible in your hands that you're able to actually play and check out before you even decide to donate. I think that's a really bold move on their part, and I'm really enjoying it thus far.
Yeah, and he's actually going to stop by for an interview later on in this episode. I'm going to ask him about that, or maybe you will. I don't know. One of us will ask him about the demo.
Yeah, one of us will, but I'm really interested to hear what he has to say, because you and I, neither, and Maxwell, none of us are developers. We don't have an idea of what that's like.
No.
So I think it's gonna be really interesting to find out what it's like to actually build a game with a small team. I think maybe they have a team of 6, I think, but maybe that's something we'll get into later on during the interview. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, and you can still donate to their Kickstarter, and I suggest that you do. Check out Legend Maker on Kickstarter, and I think it's till June 13th, June 12th.
Yeah, I think it's June 12th or June 13th. Oddly enough, right when E3 starts, I think is when that campaign ends. Their goal is $40,000 because they're trying to do it without having to go to a publisher. It's something that they want to do themselves and put out themselves. I think right now, currently, I think out of the $40,000 goal, I think they're sitting at $7,000 is what they're currently at, and the campaign on Kickstarter actually ends on June 13th. So make sure that you show your support. I'm really into indie developers, small people that are making new games. Some of the most recent games I've played have been from small studios, and I really respect that foundation that are trying to build and do it all on their own. I think a lot of times if you can make a game and keep a big studio out of it, I think a lot of times there's a lot of interesting stories to be told. So I'm pretty excited for it. All right, so without any further ado, let's get into news. We're trying to get a better control of our format of how we kind of do things, so we're going to kind of group all of our topics together. So we're going to cover some movie news. So Maxwell, you want to take over that?
Indeed I do, sir. So big announcement for next year. There's actually a lot of them, but what we're going to talk about today, we have Transformers: The Last Night is the official title. So there was a teaser with Megatron, and he looks very different from the teaser. It's really just his face. But the premise of this movie is going to be Optimus Prime searching the galaxies for the Quintessence, who was supposedly the creators of the Transformers race. But from the teaser, the big announcement that they have posted is the fact that Megatron will return.
Yeah, because
fantastic.
Because in the last movie, I mean, they basically used his dead body to create basically
Galvatron.
Galvatron. So we haven't actually seen him since the third Transformers movie. Is that right?
I don't know, because these movies are so over the top that I just have kind of lost some of his.
Now, is this taking place after? Is this a continuation after the last Transformer movie? Have they directly said?
Right. I think they've already put Mark Wahlberg back in, and there is talks that they're going to bring some people from the other movie, like, oh my God, what was that guy's name?
T.J. Miller? No, he
no.
died in the last one.
No,
Never mind.
yeah, he became some kind of molten stuff. No, I don't remember his name. Oh well.
That's fine.
Josh Duhamel. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Boom. Got it.
Well, one of
right
the-
in my mind.
Yeah, boom, right there. Now I know that
Right
there's
deep under some shit.
Yeah, I know that there's been some news recently, but nothing confirmed that Shia LaBeouf might actually reprise his role. Is that correct? Maybe we don't
Who
know.
knows?
Yeah, who knows?
With Sam Witwicky.
Oh, was that Optimus Prime? Oh, snap. Yeah. So I mean,
Go ahead.
I don't know. Mark Wahlberg. I mean, I didn't really care too much for the last Transformers movie. I was kind of blown away when the Transformers movies first came out, but as they kind of progressed and came out with new ones, like I've just kind of lost interest. So, this one's going to have to do a lot of things right to win me back over, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, and it's kind of with each sequel, there's just packing more and more in, and I feel like things are just too much. Which brings me on to the next movie, Xmen Apocalypse. Did you guys watch it?
I did. I can already tell you Justin didn't see
Well,
it.
I'm not an X-Men fan to begin with. I'm the worst.
I don't
sorry.
think you're a
He
fan of
doesn't like
movies.
movies.
Yeah, movies.
When a Star Wars movie comes out, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll see you next December.
Yeah.
Well, so what did you think?
But, well, overall thoughts, it was a long movie, which was fine, but not time frame like halfway through the movie did I like and dislike it, but there were parts throughout the entire movie that I'd say halfway I didn't like and halfway I liked. So say like 20 minutes in I liked, and then the next 10 minutes I didn't like, and then 20 minutes I liked. So it was just really chopped up with a lot of scenes I didn't care for.
Yeah, I thought the pacing was a little strange. I liked how they introduced a lot of the new characters that we haven't seen in previous X-Men movies with, since First Class, like obviously Jean Grey and Scott Summers as Cyclops. Like I like the way that they kind of introduced all them.
Right.
I didn't think I would like him because I didn't really care for him in the last movie, but I loved Quicksilver's character.
Yeah.
I thought
No, that was very good.
Yeah, I thought he played a really big role in this movie, more so than the last movie. My biggest complaint, and it's no shock if you've seen the trailers, is that do you not think they could have went without showing that Wolverine was going to be in this movie, and how they revealed him in the movie? It would have just been perfect just to be surprised by that.
Yeah. It was a bigger role in the movie than I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't that big. I was a little worried that it was just going to be like a small thing, like him in the bar, as in, what movie was that? The First Class?
Oh,
Where he just had like a one-liner.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But now this was a little bigger spot. I don't really want to ruin anything for anybody, but it was nice to see. There was some cheesiness to it, but it was so like they brought the stuff that people visually wanted.
Yeah,
And I, without giving away too much, I was just kind of like, like I thought it was a little too much for what it was.
yeah, that was the first thing I noticed was his what he was wearing when he first came in. That was the big thing that I kind of noticed was what he was wearing. And I know that obviously they did that for the big comic book fans.
Right.
And I know that you're not a huge fan of, like, sometimes you like a movie to present itself differently than what it does in the comic books just for the sake of the realism aspect to it. And I just thought that was definitely a nod to the comic fans for sure.
Yeah, which is why I liked Bryan Singer from the get-go. With his first two X-Men movies, he was not even an X-Men fan. He said he never read the comics and stuff when he was a kid, but he got the opportunity to make the movie, and he wanted to. The reason why he put them in like black leather and stuff was he didn't want it to be a cheesy rip right out of a comic book with all the yellow and blues and everything. He wanted it to be more realistic, as realistic as it can be, I guess.
Yeah. What was? Let me ask you your thoughts on what about casting choices for some of the main characters? What was your thoughts on some of them?
Yeah, so we all know Sophie Turner. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, she plays
Sansa
Stark.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as her acting in this, it could have been better. I think she was just like a big name. They brought her in, but she just didn't do anything for me as the role of Jean.
Yeah, I don't. I kind of. I think she did great for what material she was given. I feel like. I feel like as a character that she, for the first half of the movie, was kind of handicapped. Like they didn't really have much for her to do until basically towards the last part of the movie.
Right.
You know, and I thought, honestly, I thought Cyclops played a bigger role than she did in most of the movie, leading up until the end, I thought.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, and I actually liked the guy that played Cyclops. I've never been a huge Cyclops fan because in the original Bryan Singer movies in 1, 2, and 3, they always made him just seem. I just didn't like that character in any of the movies, and this one I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I liked that character in the cartoon, and just like growing up as a kid, I thought he was like a really cool character, but that movie made him out to be just somebody nobody liked.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I kind of liked the development between Jean Grey and Scott. Obviously, we know that they have always had a thing for each other. The one thing that I thought was kind of strange, and of course in the timeline, is you've seen that kind of thing between Jean Grey and Logan, and there's obviously a huge age gap there,
Right.
because she's still a kid at this point. But she is able to see into his mind, and she says specifically, I just gave him a little bit of his past back. So I'm just kind of curious to see, how that plays out. Because we know, the next movie is going to be Wolverine 3, which is, I think they're going to do Old Man Logan. Is that right, Maxwell?
That's all the rumors are pretty much geared toward that. There have been pictures that just released of him on set, but he's just in like civilian clothes in this, and he's got like a bag lunch with him. But he's got this like pretty thick beard. It's not the traditional like mutton chop looking thing, but he's got kind of like a thick full beard, which everybody wants Old Man Logan. And if that's the case, this is going to be like 50-ish years into the future. We do have Patrick Stewart coming back as Professor X. They have casted him. And this one, which gets me really interested, Stephen Merchant. Those of you that do not know Stephen Merchant, he was a co-creator of the British series of The Office. He was a star in Hello Ladies, and he's going to be running around with Wolverine. I don't know if he's got a smaller part, if it's a big part, but I mean, this is another comedy actor that's getting a role in a serious R-rated movie. And it's kind of reminding me of Danny McBride being in Alien Covenant, like we talked about last week.
Yeah. Is that, you have to refresh my mind, is that the tall, lanky guy with glasses?
Yeah.
It's just like really
Yes.
awkward and funny.
Really funny. Yeah.
He did
Okay.
lip sync battle with Jimmy Fallon. That's
Yeah.
so good.
Have
Yeah.
you not seen Hello Ladies?
No, I think you may have.
It's like 6 episodes. Go watch it when we're done.
It's already been canceled, right?
Yeah,
It's
like
got to be great then. Well, no,
Ouch.
I find him really funny. I think he was he in the movie The Hall Pass maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was hilarious in that movie.
Maxwell, have you seen Life's Too Short?
No.
You check that one out. It's
Okay.
really good. Yeah.
Is it a movie or a TV show?
A TV show. It was like a season as well. They ended that one on their own. It has Warwick Davis from Star Wars and Harry Potter, and then it has Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. It's really, really funny.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I'm excited for Wolverine 3. I do believe that they've said that this will be the last Wolverine movie that Hugh Jackman will be in, right? Supposedly.
Yeah, the last movie for him as Wolverine, period.
Now, is this supposed to take place, I assume in the timeline, this is probably supposed to take place beyond Days Future Past, I assume? Because
Well,
I would assume
that's
so
the real
because
question,
because in Days of
'cause-
Future Past he was not old in that movie, so I can only assume that it would have to take place after that, unless they just screwed up their timeline. I don't know.
yeah, this is like farther into the future, like 50 years. So it would put like Professor X at like 100 years old or something like
Yeah.
that. So and then there's just like a few from the original story. I don't know much about it, like the comic that was written, but a lot of the other X-Men have kind of long since passed.
Yeah. Well, one of the last thing that I'll say about the movie that I thought was interesting is I was really confused, and this doesn't really give anything away. I wouldn't consider it a spoiler, but at the end of Days of Future Past, they bring Wolverine up from the water and they put him on the boat. And you see Stryker, which is the guy that's obviously responsible for putting him through the Weapon X program. And right before the movie ends, you see his eyes light up, indicating that Stryker is Mystique. Okay?
Right.
In this movie, they did not address that at all. At all. And there was a recent interview done with, I think, the writer of the movie, and he said that they didn't feel the need to address it, and it wasn't anything that necessarily they messed up, but basically the premise is that no matter how much you reset the past, certain things are always destined to end the way they were supposed to end.
Right.
So basically, she may have saved him in that situation, but if he was meant to go through whatever it is he was going to go through, he was going to go through it one way or another.
Right.
So, but still, I just felt like, I mean, for people that's not going to go out and read that, I mean, people are just going to be thinking, well, what the heck happened? They didn't even talk about that. So, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting that that's something that they didn't even touch on. So, Justin, right before we started,
some
this big news, right?
Big news. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to star and produce a film adaptation of The Division, the game that just came out a couple months ago from Ubisoft. I didn't know they were going to make a movie for this game.
It must be because the game's not doing well. I'm just kidding.
I think it's doing okay, but I just didn't know they were going to make a film for it, and I definitely didn't know he was going to star in it. I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, to me, The Division kind of, it kind of is like I Am Legend, but without vampire things. I mean, it's just that post-apocalyptic world where, everything. I think it could be, if done right, I think could be great. I hope that it is better than Prince of Persia.
Oh, definitely. That movie was garbage.
Have you ever seen that movie, Maxwell?
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Well, you have terrible standards. I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
Whatever happened to that franchise?
They made it into a movie.
They made it into Assassin's Creed, basically, right? So, because that was until you brought that up.
I'm calling it now. Prince of Persia reboot at E3. No, I'm kidding.
That's why Ubisoft took a year off from Assassin's Creed to make Prince of Persia.
Oh my God, it all makes sense now.
And
it wasn't because they were, just taking a creative break. It was to milk some other franchise.
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting. I'm sure there's going to be more news kind of roll out around that because, I mean, literally that had just came on the web before we started this podcast.
Yeah.
So more to come on that. One thing that also I read today, and this is just stepping back a few things about Transformers, is that there's been early talks, nothing confirmed, that in the future it may be possible that they have a TMNT and Transformers crossover.
Oh my gosh, Michael Bay, come on, stop it!
I know, right? So, I mean, if you think about it, the last movie had a lot of nods to Transformers as far as the sounds, and Shredder was basically a Transformer, and so
yeah. Well, maybe we'll end up with a Battleship as well.
Yeah, I forget. We watched that together, didn't we? And that was basically Transformers like 5. So
yeah.
All right. Well, now I think that's all we got for movies. Let's talk
about some games.
Yeah, let's talk about games.
Some video games.
Yeah, let's talk about something that I'm not gonna say I'm not a huge fan of, but it's not in my wheelhouse.
Oh my God.
Because I don't play it that much.
Cut me deep.
But Xbox One has a price drop. It used to be $350 to get into an Xbox One with a 500 gig hard drive. Sorry, and now it's $299. So it was a $50 price drop.
Yep.
And do you think this is a sign of what's to come? What they're going to announce at E3?
Oh well, I mean, it's probably time to drop the price anyway. But yeah, I would say that helps.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling they're going to announce there's been rumors that they're working on 2 consoles. One that's going to be more powerful. It's going to be released in 2017. But then one that potentially may be announced at this E3 that's going to have a 2 terabyte hard drive. So I could only see, them dropping the price, getting ready for that next one, to come up. EA, at E3 obviously is coming up. And I do believe that Microsoft has officially had VR developers creating content for a potential Xbox One VR headset. Is that right?
Well, I mean, nothing's official, and it's just rumor at this point. But on the E3 website a couple days ago, a few prominent VR developers were listed as developing games for Microsoft and possibly the Xbox One. So that does add fuel to that fire.
And the fact that I can't stop but think that since they have two consoles, and one of the consoles is dramatically more powerful than the other, that it has to be for something, and that something I think is going to be VR. So, let's move on to something I really don't care about, which is
That's a good segue.
Yeah, which is Watch Dogs.
And we don't have a lot to talk about except for a popular YouTuber, not going to lie, I don't remember his name, received a gift today from, God, is it Ubisoft that makes that?
Yes.
Received a gift from them. Basically, it's just a promo thing, but it did have the Watch Dogs 2 logo. And then Ubisoft was asked about it, and they said, yeah, we're making it. So they confirmed it.
Well, that's fine. I'm never going to play that game.
Short and sweet. That's how we like our segments.
Yeah, just like my penis.
Whoa.
I don't even know what to say there.
We're not
It
cutting
just
that.
got real.
Next, Travis, you want to talk about Rocket League?
Yeah, let's talk about Rocket League, which is a game that I don't play. I do have it on my console, and I've played it maybe for 5 minutes. However, one of the really impressive things about Rocket League is that it has raised $110 million in sales, and that is across PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Now, I do believe that Rocket League, I think, was added to Xbox One last, I do believe.
Yeah. It was free on PlayStation for a while.
Yeah,
too.
it was free on PlayStation for a while.
You think I paid
as
for
well.
that?
Yeah, no, I definitely did not. So, but obviously Rocket League has clearly been successful. According to a report that Forbes did, they're planning on making a possible spinoff that's more like a football game.
They did do the basketball expansion, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Have you played it?
I have not.
Me neither.
But it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not huge into soccer, but I am huge into games that are hectic. And that game is hectic.
Super hectic.
One of the
Geometry Wars.
Yeah.
Gosh.
One of the really cool things about that game, though, is they did have a couple little add-ons that you could get, and one of the add-ons you could actually get the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and when you actually got up to top speed, your car would basically have all the motions like it's about to go back in time, which is pretty
awesome.
Pretty sweet. You don't even like Back to the Future, whatever.
No, I do.
Okay, Maxwell, do you like Back to the Future? If not, you can just hang up right now.
You know what? I'm not a jerk, so yeah, I do love it.
Good. Well, now that we've got that out of the way, but yeah, huge success from Rocket League. It continues to be one of the top downloaded games for all free-ish downloads.
So addictive.
Yeah, it is addictive. I have tons of friends that play it. I just don't really get into it. Maybe I need to give it more of my time. But there's just been so many games coming out.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I just thought that was really interesting that they have sold 5 million units and raised $110 million in sales. So for a game that came from a studio, I don't think it's a popular studio. I don't believe.
They are now.
Yeah, it's Sonic's. P-S-Y-O-N-I-X. So it's like Sonic's, I think. But yeah, just really interesting article. So I guess maybe I need to try to give Rocket League a try. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to try the basketball expansion. I haven't done that yet. I think that was a free update, wasn't it?
I do believe so. Free. Would you try it for free?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I know that you're a big Steam person, as am I. Maxwell, I don't think probably even knows what Steam is. Do you know what Steam
I downloaded it one time, the interface, and then I get emails all the time saying that something I had my wish list is on sale.
Yeah. Also, that people in Russia are trying to log in as you.
Probably.
Sometimes you'll get those.
Yeah, but there's been some really interesting news about Steam and a website, right?
Yeah. GOG and Steam. I don't know if they've partnered
Good old
together.
games, right?
Good old games. I don't know if they partnered together or GOG just said, like, F it, we're doing this. Basically, GOG is known for their DRM-free platform, which is nice, and people, because that's like the one thing people don't like about Steam. But GOG has implemented a new service today called GOG Connect, which allows you to import your games from Steam, and then it gives you a GOG copy. And on certain games that are eligible, you get those as DRM free.
Yeah, that's really interesting. The fact that they're kind of partnering up. I mean, when you look at these games, a lot of times you think that they're direct competitors, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if they're partnering. I mean, if GOG just gives away a copy of a game on their service, they can do that.
yeah, I guess they can do what they want since it's their website.
Yeah.
Current games that can be copied right now with GOG Connect include Braid, Saints Row 2, and The Witness, and more to be obviously available in the future, I assume.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty big news because Steam obviously is a giant, and GOG. Have you ever bought anything off GOG?
Yeah, about The Witcher 3 on there.
Oh well, that's a good old game.
Yeah, that was like the preferred platform of CD Projekt Red because I guess they took out like just a little cut of the funds instead of Steam, which took out a bunch.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I kind of look forward to that, especially if I can get some free games.
Yeah, on May the 4th, they usually do a big Star Wars thing too, where they bring games that weren't on PC before and they somehow make them on PC. So
Oh well, that's good.
it's super good.
Yeah, so let's talk about a company I'm not crazy about, but I do like some of the games. Let's talk a little bit about E3. E3 and also a company called EA.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, some news specifically around obviously some of the things that we're going to see at E3, but also some things that are kind of interesting around the launch dates for some of these titles. So one of the things that I found interesting and yet strange is that EA is planning on releasing Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 within 3 weeks of each other.
You know what it sounds like?
Sounds like what?
They're just sending Titanfall out there to die.
I don't think that's it. You know why?
I'm not interested.
Well, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Is because Battlefield 1 is of course due out on the 21st of October. And Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is out the 4th of November. So I think what they're trying to do because Titanfall is going to be releasing on the 11th of November. So I think what they're trying to do is
It's gonna get slaughtered.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is they know that Call of Duty, even though it's going to be in space and it's going to be terrible, well, in my opinion, I think they're really just trying to have two titles out there while Call of Duty is out because, even though a lot of people talk a lot of crap about Call of Duty, it's still going to be one of those games that will sell regardless of how you feel about it. It may be the biggest selling game of the year.
Oh yeah.
And I think if they can get Titanfall out there while these two juggernauts are being released, that maybe they think that it's going to have some sort of positive impact. I don't know, but to me, it's just an interesting play. And
This Titanfall, it's not Xbox exclusive, right?
It's everything. So, what's interesting is that the financial officer for EA said that they're not uncomfortable putting out two games up against Call of Duty. They think that there's nothing wrong with that. So I think it's going to be interesting. I never played a lot of Titanfall. Maxwell, did you play Titanfall at all? No, not really.
No, actually, not at all.
Yeah, and Justin?
I wasn't crazy about it. I regretted my purchase.
Yeah, there's a couple of friends of mine that absolutely love the game. I got the game free when it came. It came with my Xbox, and I maybe played it less than an hour.
Yeah.
So if I could have sold it, I would, but it was digital.
Yeah,
so,
that's how mine was.
So I'm really excited about Battlefield 1. There's also some news about when we'll actually get to see some gameplay. Maxwell, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so actually one of the big things with Battlefield 1 is we're going to get our first view of a 64-player match. They're going to do this on Sunday, June 12th. EA is going to host it, and it's going to have some known YouTubers. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the list of the YouTubers, but some known YouTubers, streamers, and some other special guests. And it's going to be a live stream, and it's at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, that's June 12th. That's actually right in line when E3 is, and that's actually, I think June 12th is a Sunday, maybe.
Yeah, I think E3 starts.
I just said
June...
that even.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah.
I think E3 starts the 14th or 15th.
Yeah, so they're doing it right
Maybe
up.
13th, I can't remember.
Yeah, right up to when E3 is going to start. I'm really excited to see because all we've seen of the game thus far is rendered trailers that say this is in-game engine, but we don't know what actual gameplay looks like.
Yeah, I can't can't wait.
Yeah.
So, what games do you guys want to see at E3?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
So many games.
Well, that's a lot. Well, I will tell you, and I know Maxwell and I probably will have this one in common. I want to see Last Guardian.
Yep.
Are we going to see it?
Yeah, we're gonna see that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about that game. I think we're going to see some big news from Rockstar.
Yeah, we will.
We're also going to see from 2K Games. We're going to see Mafia 3
Yeah, that looks great.
and Civilization 6, which I don't play Civ anything.
Like, what's your wish list? Like, maybe an IP that hasn't, been out in a while. What's something you want to see?
That's a good question. A game that I used to get into a while back was Tekken. Maxwell, did you and I ever play? Did you ever play
Oh
Tekken?
my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. So supposedly we're gonna see Tekken 7, and then possibly also maybe a Tekken VR game, which I don't know how that works.
Ooh, that'd be neat.
Yeah. But one thing that I know Maxwell and myself would probably be excited about that I'm anticipating on hearing, and there's a lot of rumors, is that they're really looking to have a lot of attention to a new Resident Evil game,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
going back to
There we
like
go.
to the old school ones.
Yeah.
So Resident Evil 7, supposedly we might see something. We might see something at E3 about that, since it's technically been 4 years since Capcom has released Resident Evil 6. So I anticipate seeing something there. I think we're also going to probably see some Witcher 3, more DLC for that probably,
Okay.
because we just had some released, right?
Yeah, the big one. Just can't forget the name of it, but yeah.
And then the last thing that I think I would like to see, I would like to see something about Mighty Number 9. We'll get into that later, but
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be a big year for VR.
I do too. I think we'll see a lot of VR titles, and hopefully we'll see some major developers jump on. Hopefully Oculus Touch gets a release date. That will change the VR battle between Vive and Rift. I'm looking forward to seeing Zelda. I cannot wait to see that game in action. I think it's going to be just fantastic. And for my wish list, I hope we get SOCOM Remastered. Had to drop it. Hashtag SOCOM Remastered or SOCOM 5, whichever. Just give me one. I'm also looking forward to seeing Ghost Recon. That looks pretty great. But then, here's an obscure pick. No, I'll say the obscure pick. BioShock. I want to do BioShock.
That's been a while.
It has been, yeah. But my obscure pick is I want to do Mod Nation Racers for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Remember how fun that game was? Like the customization options and the track maker and everything.
Well, I know one thing that you're excited about that you haven't mentioned.
What?
Dishonored 2.
Oh yeah, Dishonored 2. Yeah, the first one was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah, I didn't play Dishonored. Now that you told me, I might pick it up because I think they re-released it for
Yeah,
next
it's
gen. Right?
$40 for the remastered version.
Yeah, so,
I think it has all the DLC, which it should.
Yeah, one thing before Maxwell, you get into some of your wish list. One of the things that I wanted to mention real quick is that is Activision isn't planning on running a booth on the show floor this year.
Good.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to see anything from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare or Skylanders. I always forgot about Skylanders, especially now that Disney is not in the toys game.
Yeah, and the weird thing about that was Disney was the top-selling toy game series, and I mean, you almost had to think that Lego Dimensions and Skylanders may not be far behind.
Yeah, and for our friend Emily, aka Mystique Siren, I bet you there's going to be some talk about either Destiny content or a proper sequel to Destiny.
You said it, didn't you? You just had to say it.
I had to throw it out there. I had to, But
You
Maxwell,
gotta be careful using that D word in here.
Yeah.
Destiny, yeah. But
Emily's
Emily's all about
I'm
the
gonna
D there.
bleep you out every time you say it.
Yeah.
I got a pretty long list actually. Of I've been working on it for the last couple of days. What I really wanted to see with E3. It starts off. It's the obvious one, Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then and that's it. That's all I got.
That's one heck of a list.
As far as I got. But it really, you guys know how I am with the games. I buy like 1 or 2 a year, but I'll play them till the disc doesn't work anymore. And then some friends might buy me a game for my birthday or Christmas, like Alien Isolation. I'll play 20 minutes of it with that friend and be too scared to ever play it alone.
You know what I would like to see, and I think they're planning on adding support, but the Oculus in that game, or PlayStation VR in that game.
Oh man, yeah, that would be brutal though.
I would need to get a bucket to sit on so I can poop my pants while I play that
Yeah.
game.
I think it's compatible with. It's called Vorpex. It's a mod somebody made for Oculus where you can play non VR games in VR. And I want to say
Wow.
Alien Isolation is one of the better working games with it.
Oh, well,
That's fantastic.
that is fantastic because actually I have that game installed on my PC, and funny enough, you're going to let me borrow your Oculus Rift while you're gone next
Yeah,
week.
it's
so,
upstairs right now.
So maybe I'll just play that and just call Maxwell and cry.
If you want to buy a Vorpex license, feel free.
Oh, I'm sure I can find ways to get that.
I tried.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't try. I tried legally, of course.
Yeah. Now, one game that I know we're going to see, but I want more information about when it's going to be available is the PS4 exclusive game called Horizon. The one it's like looks prehistoric, but there's robotic dinosaurs, and
Yeah.
that chick's like firing a bow and killing all sorts of stuff. That is, I think, done by the developers of Killzone, which is Guerrilla. That's going to be their game, so I'm kind of excited for that. For Microsoft, I feel like we're expecting to see a lot of things from them. There's talks that there's going to maybe be an announcement of Halo Wars 2.
Oh, that'd be great.
Um,
Age of Empires
yeah.
4, that'd be nice.
Scalebound, Recore, which Scalebound and Recore I think Emily mentioned when she was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. A new Forza, possibly.
Ooh, what about Elder Scrolls? Think we'll get one of those?
No.
Bummer.
What I would like to see them do is announce an HD remastered edition of Skyrim.
Even backwards compatible. I don't care. I just want to
Yeah.
play it.
Crackdown 3.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I know. And then I think there's a Xbox exclusive called Sea of Thieves as well. I think
yeah.
that's a rare title.
In like a pirate game or something?
Yes.
Yep.
And then of course we're gonna see things about Gears of War 4, obviously. So, and then possible hardware announcements from Microsoft. Now, one of the things I do want to mention about E3 is Nintendo has said that they are not going to show anything off about their new console.
Yeah.
That they want to primarily focus on Legends of Zelda for Wii U. So my question to you two is how do they fill their time? What are they going to talk about?
Zelda. I mean, I could talk about Zelda for an hour if you want me to.
I mean, I just...
Well, the shows usually run around 60 minutes. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. They never.
They
They
probably
haven't
have
played.
something coming out with for the DS or something.
Oh, that'd be cool if
surely.
they announced like a 3DS game as well.
New Animal Crossing would be great.
Oh my God, please.
Yeah, so
they-
your wife can play that for 6 more years.
Yeah, so I can play games while she plays. I'm really wanting a new Red Dead Redemption. I know we've talked
Yeah.
about it, but that's probably
Or even, I mean, yeah, I want that, but I just want a new Rockstar game in general because all of their games are so good.
yeah. So
A new Bully. That'd be cool.
yeah, I never played Bully at all.
It's on sale right now on PSN.
Oh well, I guess you'll have to pick that up for me. Thanks.
Oh, okay. That's how that works.
Yeah, that's exactly how that works.
All right, I'll get that if you pick up Dishonored.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So, anything else you want to add to your really long list of games you'd like to see at E3, Maxwell?
Oh,
What are you
actually, yeah. I
giggling
don't know if
about?
I'm.
Because he only had
Did I
one
bring
thing
up
on his
Mass
list.
Effect?
Yeah, I think
Did
you
I bring
did.
up Mass Effect?
Is it Mass
Oh, okay.
Effect Abdominus? Is that what it's called?
Are you joking?
No. What's it called?
Andromeda.
Andromeda. Is that what I say? Abdominus? I don't know.
I
what
thought you were just messing with it.
Yeah.
Abdominal muscle.
You know what? How sweet would it be though, if when they talk about the new Mass Effect game, they say, "Oh, well, while you wait, you can play through the original 3 on your PS4." Or,
You just want that to happen because you missed out on it.
yeah. I didn't want to embarrass myself by saying that.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, good. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, also anybody that's listening, we would love to hear comments from our fan base around what you guys would want to see at E3. So maybe some titles that we didn't mention, some titles that you're super excited for. I'd also be anxious to hear what are some titles that haven't been around for a while that you'd like to see a new version of. I know Justin mentioned
SOCOM.
SOCOM.
Mod Nation Racers.
Yeah.
Come on, Sony.
Twisted,
bring it back.
Twisted Metal.
I'll pass on that one.
Pass. So we'd really appreciate some feedback because we're not getting enough of it, and I want some. So just throwing that out there.
At I want to say it was last year's E3. Someone in the crowd, it was Sony said something like one more thing, and someone in the crowd yelled out SOCOM. That really happened.
Well, maybe one day you'll be that guy.
It was me.
It was you, yeah. All right, well let's talk about some PS4 news. So PS4 Share Factory just got an update, and if you're not familiar with what Share Factory is, it's the app that is built into the PlayStation that you can download that allows you to edit your recorded videos on your PS4. Historically, in the past, you've only been able to do 15-minute clips and upload them to YouTube or Facebook. Now you have the ability to upload a 60-minute file, which is a pretty big deal because since the PS4 has been out, you've been limited at 15 minutes. One of the other major improvements is you now have the ability to do picture-in-picture, which is really cool, and you also get the ability to do Chroma Key Support as well. So what's really nice about that is they're really kind of, doing updates for people that want to upload their videos of them playing games and not feel like they're limited to a 15-minute window. And they've also added the ability to do, picture-in-picture and some other things. Now, one of the cool abilities is the Chroma Key Support. And what's really interesting about that is that it allows you to add a second track of video to play alongside your primary video. So what that means is if you're really talented, you can actually insert green screen effects, which are really cool. So, it sounds like it's very minor, but for somebody that wants to really get their video out, if they're a YouTuber, if they're somebody that's doing Twitch or whatever it may be, by having that update, it really allows them to kind of, take those videos kind of to the next level. So also, moving on from that, one of the things I wanted to talk about, since it's obviously the beginning of June, is wanted to talk about PlayStation Plus games and Games for Gold games that are free this month. So it's kind of a big month, honestly, for both consoles.
Yeah, PlayStation really came out strong this month.
Yeah, they're giving away a $60 game, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess they made a deal because it's the NBA Finals.
Yeah. So
they're giving away NBA 2K16.
Yeah, way to steal my thunder.
No problem.
Yeah, so for the PlayStation this month, spoiler in case you all didn't already know.
NBA 2K16?
Yeah, NBA 2K16, which, Justin, you play a lot of that game, right?
I love those games.
Yeah, so there's that. There's also a game called Gone Home, which you've also played as well?
Yeah, that's a great game, too. It's very atmospheric. It's just really good.
Yeah, so far we got a $60 game, a $20 game. There's also a game...
A really good $20 game.
Okay. We also have a game called Echo Chrome, which I've not heard of. That is a $10 game. We also have Siren Blood Curse, episodes 1 through 12, which is a $20 value. We have God of War, Chains of Olympus, which I believe is on the Vita, I believe. That is a $15 value. And then we also have Little Deviants, which is a PlayStation Vita title as well, which is $13.50. So that is $138 worth of games that you're getting for free this month on PlayStation. Now, for Xbox, Games for Gold, we have Goat Simulator.
Oh!
Maxwell loves a goat simulator, don't you? Do you like to simulate your goat?
Only in private.
Okay, that is a $10 value. You can't put a heavy price tag on simulating your goat, but yeah. So the Crew, which is the open world racing game, I have a friend Kevin who loved that game, so I'm gonna have to download it and check it out. It's the Crew, which is a $30 game. We also have Super Meat Boy, which is another word for my penis. It's a $15 value. And then we also have XCOM Enemy Unknown, which XCOM is a pretty big game, right?
For some, not for me.
Okay. What? I don't know what type of game it is, but I know it's gotten pretty good reviews.
I don't know. There's a couple different ones. I think some are shooters and some are real-time strategy games.
Yeah, this one looks like it is the it kind of looks like it's the top-down action game is what it looks like. It looks kind of like a strategy game. So, but I know it's got aliens in it. So, I mean, I'm down with aliens. So yeah, so that is a $95 value. So we got PlayStation coming in at $138, Xbox coming in at $95. So go out and get those games before they're gone. So get them while the getting's good, I guess you'd say.
I guess that works, yeah.
I guess that works. So yeah. So Maxwell, I want to turn it over to you to an important section that we want to have about things.
Okay. So normally we do Pick of the Week.
Dum dum. Oh, that was was late.
That was
Yeah,
bad.
that
Let's do
was-
that again.
Poorly done. Pick of the week.
Da-da-doo.
What is wrong with you guys?
That's good. That worked fine.
Yeah.
Well, conveniently enough with your poor it's a anti pick of the week.
Ooh.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, so the games that you would, or shows or whatever, that you would not recommend. So
Interesting.
think about that for a second, all y'all on the radio, all you listeners out there with your ears.
Oh my gosh.
You just take a moment and think about what game or disappointed TV show or movie would you just say, you know what, friends? I don't want you to watch that. I'm gonna
Any
tell you
Michael
about
Caine
how bad
movie.
it is.
No, I'm
You
kidding.
sound like Marty Huggins from the campaign. That's who you sound.
Push it real good.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, who wants to start us off? Who's already got one?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, well, we talked about it a little bit before we started recording. I'm gonna say Assassin's Creed 1. It was extremely hyped up. It looked wonderful. It should have been all of these great things, and for the first maybe 30 minutes it was fantastic, and then it just got really old and repetitive, and when 2 came out, that was just much better. But for 1, I'm just going to say Assassin's Creed 1.
Okay, but you do feel like they've improved over time up until Unity?
Yeah, except for Unity. But Liberation, is that the new one, or what's the new one called?
Syndicate.
Syndicate. That one's great.
Have you played it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, I have my friend Ben. He has the game, and he's got kind of mixed feelings, I feel like, so far.
Oh no, it's great.
Yeah, so my favorite Assassin's Creed game still to date is Black Flag by far. I just like the pirate aspect of it. I think that was just a great game. So what about you, Maxwell?
Mine would definitely be, oh my gosh, it was a game that I was the most pumped for. I had the biggest letdown was Aliens Colonial Marines.
Okay, now how would, as far as level of disappointment, if you had to compare another point in your life where you was disappointed, say maybe when you had a Ninja Turtle van full of animal crackers that you didn't get, would you say it was your disappointment for Aliens Colonial Marines was higher or lower than that point in your life?
I don't think anything can compare to the disappointment and sadness I felt that day with the Ninja Turtle van.
Okay, well that's good that this is the only second most disappointing point in your life.
Yeah. So it could be worse, right?
So what were some of the things that stood out to you that made this game such a disappointment? Everything, or
yeah, graphics, gameplay, story, the AI behind the aliens.
because the big thing in that game was you were able to basically play any of the type of characters you would play or see in an Alien movie, right? Whether it be a Colonial Marine or an alien, and they had every type of alien that you've seen in the movies too, right?
They had additional ones actually that weren't in the movies that they created just for the game.
Well, it's a shame. It's a shame that it was that bad. I know that it was bad enough for somebody to go back on the PC version and basically redo the whole thing to make it not suck. So it must,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it must have been a terrible game for a fan to want to do that. So, mine would have to be, honestly, I don't want to. It's kind of hard to say it's the most disappointing game because it's not technically out yet. But Mighty Number 9 has been a big letdown to me so far, and I haven't even got to play it. The biggest reason is that the Kickstarter campaign was done 2.5 years ago, and I think within the first 24 hours they met and exceeded their goal by far. And they even had stretch goals. Those stretch goals were met within the first couple days that the campaign was out. But yet this game has gotten delayed, I'd say 3 or 4 times. It's supposed to come out, I think, the week after or the week of E3. And, it's just to the point where this game has been delayed so many times that the excitement I initially had for the game going into it is no longer there. It's to the point where I'm not even looking forward to it because I just feel like when it releases, it's just going to get pushed back again, or I've been waiting this whole time and it may not even be that good. So that is my pick, and it's not even a game that's even been out yet, but I've just been let down by the fact that I've had to wait so long for it. So, because I felt like if the game was delayed that many times, that they should have done something for the people that back the campaign, whether it be release an alpha or a demo or something to kind of hold fans over, but they didn't do anything. So by the time this actually releases, I think it's been out for, or the campaign has been going on for 3 years since that has been back. So it's just been too much waiting for me, honestly. I mean, Maxwell, you're probably still excited regardless, I assume.
I'm a little excited for that, but I can understand the frustration of waiting for a long time. Because I thought you were going to be done talking about that like 2 minutes ago.
I hate you. I hate you so big. I hate you so big. All right,
but I think that has been it for our anti-pick of the week.
Dun. Yeah, that was terrible. We got to work on that.
Yeah.
We need to actually get an official one we can just play so we don't screw it up every week.
Yeah.
All right, so Justin, why don't you talk to us a little bit about things?
So last week we started a new segment called Ode to a Classic, and our very first classic was The Legend of Zelda. We also talked about a Kickstarter campaign for Legend Maker, which we talked about briefly at the beginning of the show, and how we're going to have a guest tonight. That guest is Justin from Dream Mix Games, and he's here with us tonight to talk about his game. Now, you have until June 13th to donate to his Kickstarter, and I hope you will. But first of all, tell us, what is your game and what made you decide to make this?
All right, so basically, Legend Maker is a game where you can create huge action-adventure game worlds, and then you can share them with your friends and stuff. And if you want to, you don't have to create the worlds, and you can just download the game worlds. And also, you don't have to make like a giant world. If you want to make something small, you can just make like a dungeon or something like that. So it can be as big as you want it. It's just a game where you can share action-adventure games, basically.
Well, that sounds really legit. That was actually going to be, you kind of jumped ahead to one of the questions that I was actually going to ask, is that so you will be able to actually download other people's maps and adventures and stuff as well. Is that what you were saying?
Oh yeah, basically it'll be like say Super Mario Maker, where this is like an integrated system. In the future it will be like that, but right now you can already do that, but it's more manual, and we have like a tutorial on the Kickstarter for that.
Well, that's really sweet. So if you don't mind me asking, without getting into too much detail, how big is so this is obviously a pretty big undertaking. How big is your team that you have to get this done?
So right now we have a team of 6 people, and that includes me.
Well, that's sweet. So is this the first game that you guys have kind of worked on?
Altogether, yes. I've created games before, but they've been smaller scale, and it was a lot longer ago, so they're really not, the kind of quality that I want to have now.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So, all right, well, I think we've kind of tackled the fact that, this is kind of a spin on Mario Maker, but I'll be honest, I'm not nearly as big as of a Mario game as I am a Legends of Zelda game, which this kind of takes me back to Link to the Past, which is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. And the fact that I literally get to kind of create my own world and my own adventure is pretty awesome. So obviously, talking about this kind of looking like a Legends of Zelda type game, have you had Nintendo approach you about this, or are you kind of in the clear since you're not using anything Zelda specific? That was just something that we were kind of curious about.
Yeah, so originally Legend Maker was a Zelda fan game, and it was called Zelda Maker. And this was back in October. I think I created everything in like 2 weeks, and I released a YouTube video for it, and I released a really quick demo for it. And Nintendo, like one of their lawyers, sent me an email and said, you're using Zelda, or like Link from Zelda, and you're using our sound, so you can't do that, basically. And so they blocked the download, and they blocked all the videos from YouTube from every country, so they might as well be deleted, basically. And so for a long time, I was just kind of gathering, people to start doing it again. And eventually, I think it was in January, I did a stream for Legend Maker, and it was the very first stream that we were going to do for the new game. And I started to gather more and more people, and now I have a team of 6 people. And now I can work on the game a lot more fluidly because I have people that can make assets for the game. And it's running so much smoother now. But no, I've not been contacted by Nintendo since then. But I was originally contacted by Nintendo when it was Zelda Maker.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, hopefully, yeah, you're in the clear. I mean, because you're not using any Zelda properties at this point. It's your own. You've created everything that's in the game now.
Yeah, exactly. So we're in the clear now. But basically, what we're trying to do now is we're trying to distance ourselves farther away from Zelda as far as we can.
So we
Sort of
shouldn't compare this to The Legend of Zelda.
Well, I would say it's definitely inspired. We're not going to deny that. You know? But we're trying to do basically what Freedom Planet did to their Sonic fan game. So if you guys have played Freedom Planet,
Yes.
or seen anything about it,
Yeah. Well, that's a great model. Honestly, asking you that question, I didn't expect such a loaded answer about all that stuff that kind of happened at the beginning of this. That's really interesting to hear, and I'm glad that you obviously didn't let that take the wind out of your sails too much, and that you decided to pick it back up. And it seems like since then it seems to be running much smoother. So that's good.
the game runs much smoother too.
Oh well, that's good.
So you did release a demo, which is something every Kickstarter campaign I've backed before, I don't recall ever getting a demo, it's nice. Has this helped you think, or has it hurt? Or because I played the demo, I liked it. Do you think that releasing a demo showing that you do have something already to show for it, is that helping you?
I definitely think that if people see the video and then they are like, oh, I don't know if I want to back this because I've never played, I don't have the gameplay experience. I've never played the game. And I think if they play the game, they can have a feel for it and kind of feel the gameplay. And hopefully that helps them decide that whether or not we're going to do something that they like, basically, based on the gameplay alone.
Well, I think that's something that's definitely unique. Kind of like Justin said, that's one of the very few things that you don't really see on Kickstarter is, a lot of times people are quick to put their videos out or whatever idea they're trying to, get out there. But you don't really necessarily see anything tangible that you can put your hands on and actually play. So I think that's great that you guys are doing that, because that's definitely not something that people seem to be doing enough of nowadays. So that's
I just feel like there's so many games without demos or anything that I can try, and I don't really trust I don't trust that enough without playing the game a lot of the times, unless it's like I've played a game by the company or whatever before and I know it's good, so I have like that feeling that this next game is going to be good. But even then, you're taking a chance, so you don't have to take a chance with this. You can just download it.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've talked about on a couple previous episodes of our podcast that I immediately got behind and there wasn't a demo for, and it turns out I'm still waiting, is Mighty Number 9. I'm a huge Mega Man fan, and obviously I don't know, I'm not like you, I don't know what goes into developing a game. I don't know all the things that go into that, but the fact that I backed that game so long ago, not having a tangible demo to play, and it's been delayed multiple times, and I still don't have a game to play or anything that I can tangibly touch or feel or see how it is, and I'm still waiting for it. I definitely feel like it's really gutsy for you just to go ahead and put a demo out there. I think that's really awesome.
I'm really not pessimistic about Mighty Number 9, but I'm just kind of skeptical about it.
Yeah, I am
because
too.
It's been so long. It kind of reminds me of Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
But it's been a while, like in development hell. I'm also sort of skeptical about. Reminds me of Last Guardian.
Oh.
I really hope that does well, like as a game, because it's been in development hell for forever.
Yeah, that's a game that's been brought up on our podcast several times. Me and another guy, Maxwell, that's on the show. We're huge Shadow of the Colossus and Ico fans, and we have been waiting on this game forever, and it's to the point now where, like you said, it's been in development hell for so long. It's like, even if it does see the light of day and come to market, which I think it will, is it going to be the game that we've been waiting on forever? Is it going to be good? So yeah, but well, so one of the things that I wanted to know is when it comes to developing a game, there's different routes that you can take as far as what platforms you want to support. Are you planning on releasing to like Steam? And if so, are you going to plan to utilize the Steam Workshop? Are you going to release on consoles? Like, what's your platform kind of look like for the future?
So as for PC, we're definitely planning to release on Steam and integrate Steam Workshop. As for consoles, we'll have to if we integrate we'll have to integrate the level sharing and everything like that. So we'll have to find a way similar to the way Mario Maker does it on Wii U. And we'll just integrate it into the game, but it'll be the same way basically. Either way, if you play it on PC, it will be inside the game. Like you won't have to go out of the game to download levels. So yeah, we're planning both Steam and Steam Workshop and console support if we can get the funding for it.
Yeah, with Steam Workshop, I mean, like basically you could complete the game and then basically hand it over to the fans, and it would be a whole different animal a year from now because they would just create so much more content for it. Correct?
Oh, I'm so excited! Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, Steam Workshop. It's such an amazing concept. I love it. One of your goals we noticed was to if you reach a certain amount of funding, you're going to have a campaign. Have you already begun working on that? Like the story? Are you going to bring in like story writers, or how's that going to go down?
So basically, for the campaign, I don't want this to be too confusing. Like you can create your own campaign in the final game, regardless.
Yeah.
But what we were planning on doing is making our own campaign, like official campaign for the game, or just like something that comes with the game, so you don't have to just be like, oh, I got this game and there's nothing out because it's just like the very first day or something. And I'm sure there will be levels out the very first day because there was on the demo. But I want to create something that we have made or whatever, like something official. And regardless, we're going to make like small little dungeons if we don't do that. But I think what we want to do is I think we want to wait till after the Kickstarter is over to know if we're going to get that kind of funding or not, then start the story process for making that.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, especially for somebody that's kind of new to this genre as far as create your own adventure type game. I think by having an official campaign, it kind of lays the ground of kind of the possibilities of what you can do with the game, because to have a game that has an official campaign that is literally using all the same gameplay mechanics and tools that you guys have built into the game to make that campaign, I think it really just kind of showcases the potential of what they are able to create on their own. So I think that would be a good idea for sure. Especially because obviously you guys probably have maybe a story in mind or something that maybe might be unique, and you never know. I mean, depending on how people react to that campaign, you may be able to sell the game based off just them wanting to play through that alone. Yeah, so I think it's fantastic. Aside from Nintendo giving you trouble earlier, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced developing this game so far?
Okay, so the biggest challenge would be, I would say, not even inside the game. I would say the biggest challenge would be the Kickstarter, basically, because it's a lot harder than we thought it would be, just getting the word out. But inside the game, I would say it would have to be, weirdly enough, like what would seem to be like one of the most simple things. The walls in the dungeons, right? Where we just didn't know the kind of system that we wanted to implement. And so we tried so many ideas for what we could implement. We ended up going with an idea from someone on Zelda Dungeon. Someone suggested that you just, like, because originally the walls, if you made them and they didn't fit right, if they didn't fit and didn't look right, like graphically, they would delete themselves. And so we ended up going with an idea from someone on Zelda Dungeon that said, well, why don't you just, have like an X over the wall, and so you can't, like, it just looks wrong, but it doesn't delete itself, so you can just fix it, basically. And so, yeah, we went with that, but that was like probably the hardest thing. And then the save system is also confusing just because of Game Maker. It's just a weird way to save with Game Maker. But we ended up figuring that out, and yeah, it seems to be pretty good now.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I'm not a developer, so I'm sure there's tons of little things that you would probably run into that you wouldn't even think about going into it. And it's really cool that somebody from, somebody that had either played Zelda Maker, offered up a suggestion that was able kind of, to help you along that way and help make the decision in order to get that, taken care of. And this isn't on any of the questions that I was going to ask you, but I was kind of curious for myself, since you kind of already addressed, being able to download like other people's maps and campaigns and things like that. Do you see, obviously, if this takes off and you continue to kind of improve the game, do you see this maybe being a game that you may eventually be able to play like co-op with somebody, or be able to play alongside each other in different maps and things like that?
We have that idea is like a far off stretch goal in our Kickstarter, and we haven't said anything about it yet. But it's just an idea that's on the table. Co-op would be very difficult to do, but we would love to do it. We would really enjoy it if we had the time to work on it and we didn't have to have another job while we're doing Legend Maker at the same time. So it's on the table right now, basically.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of things that sometimes people don't take into consideration. Like, there's a lot of single player games that people play thinking, oh, this game would be so much better if it was co-op, or oh, there's 3 people in the party at all times during this game. Why couldn't they just have 2 players be actual people? But they don't really take into consideration all the things that actually come along with that and what kind of task that is for a developer. So I think that's super interesting.
All right, that's actually all the questions we have for you today. Is there anything you wanted to add to this? Anything you want to? I know you want to promote your Kickstarter. Is there anything else you want to let us know about this?
I just want to let you guys know, I guess, that we're working on it right now. We're actually working on a video, so yeah, we're still going, even though the Kickstarter is going.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that we're definitely going to make sure we can plug it as much as we can. I mean, I definitely feel like it's something that I personally want to see you guys get to your goal for, because it's one of those games that I could see myself spending tons of time in, not only playing campaigns but also making my own. Because, like I said, to me, when I look at this game, I don't know anything about developing. I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about that. But the fact that I can have tools in my hand that allow me to create my own personalized campaign or world, to me, is very, very intriguing for somebody that doesn't know anything about how to actually develop a game. So for me, I'm super excited about it. So,
and that's what we want. We want people to be able to do what I'm doing and what we're all making for so much easier than we have to do. Like, there's no math involved, there's no logic involved. You just put down stuff and then play the game.
Yeah, and then one of the other questions that just kind of popped in my mind that I wanted to ask you is, so you said you have a team of 6. Are these just people you kind of met along the way, or are these people you've known for a while?
Basically, it's like an 80s movie. Yeah,
that's
it's just people I've met along the way, basically.
Well, you caught me just by saying 80s movies, because those are my favorite things. So. All right. Well, we really appreciate your time. Now, obviously, we know that you have a Kickstarter page set up. Is there anywhere else that people that listen to our podcast is able to find you? Do you have a Facebook or any type of page like that where people might be able to look at more information?
Oh yeah. So we have a Facebook page and we also have a Twitter, and both of those pages are at facebook.com/DreamMixGames. And then twitter.com/DreamMixGames. And then we also have a YouTube channel, and this is where we post most of our updates and everything. And we'll also post these to the Kickstarter a lot of the times. And that is youtube.com/DreamMix.
Okay. And you also have a subreddit for the game, right?
Yeah, it's just reddit.com/ I think it's /r/legendmaker.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody's got that subreddit.
I know, man. Love Reddit.
Well, Justin, we really appreciate you being on, and we look forward to all the good things that's to come from your studio. And we really are hoping that you get to that goal, so I can get my hands on this game.
Oh, me too.
All right. Well, thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks, guys.
it, Justin. Thanks. Well, that pretty much wraps up this episode 6 of Nerds with Mics. We did it, guys.
We did it.
Success!
Great success.
Ooh, Borat.
Yep, Borat. So I want to thank Justin from Dream Mix Studios for stopping by, doing big things there with this game. I'm super excited about it. I hope those of you that have listened and went to the Kickstarter campaign and has watched the video is excited as I am. I would highly recommend downloading the alpha, trying it out, and then also if it's something you think you want to do, make sure you back these guys. I appreciate smaller studios that are trying to make it big and not going the way of trying to have somebody else publish the game. So, make sure that you back that campaign, show your support. We would love to hear any feedback that you guys have around our episode, around our podcast in general, around our website. If we should continue to let Maxwell do this with us or Justin. If I should take a break, whatever, just let us know.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this just took a dark turn, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
And we're all fired.
Yep. Good news is you fired. Bad news is you got one shot to get your job back. That's not bad news, is it?
Sounds like pretty good news.
Yeah, anyways. Maxwell, did you have anything that you wanted to add? Did you have anything you wanted to plug, like your face? No.
I was gonna plug something, but I'm not gonna say it.
What? You have something going on?
No.
Oh, he was talking
Never
about.
mind.
Oh, he was talking about butt stuff.
Yeah, that's a different kind of podcast that that
Okay.
I'm running, and I need you guys to follow that one.
No thanks. Jeez. All right. So,
Dudes with boobs.
well, that's Maxwell's side project. We are not affiliated with that. But if you guys don't care, let us know which game you are most looking forward to seeing at E3, or which game you wish would make an appearance at E3 that no one knows about yet.
Or when the hell are we gonna get an E4?
Yeah, when is that going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, there's been too many E3s now.
Yeah, and so next week, Justin is going to be out of town, right?
That's right. I'm on a boat.
Yeah, so next week it's just going to be Maxwell and I,
Yep.
so I'm kind of excited for that. It's just going to be you and I, baby.
I can't wait.
Hopefully, there's no plugging going on.
Yeah, Bumblebee Tuna. I don't even know what
Oh
that
man,
means.
we're getting a little
Slap happy?
slap happy. This is one of our latest episodes that
Yeah.
we've done.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Like us on Facebook. We now have an Instagram. It's Nerds with Mics, in case you couldn't figure that out. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, do you want to let them know about that thing that we have on our website now called the Official Store?
Oh yeah. Travis right now is wearing a really cool T-shirt, and if you go on Facebook right now, you'll see it. But we now have an official store. Go to nerdswithmics.com and click on official store and buy some stuff.
Yeah, buy some stuff. And probably not next week, but maybe the week after, we may actually have a word from maybe a sponsor that we might have.
Yeah, we might be bringing some special deals to you guys. So.
Special deals.
Special deals. And we also have something else we'll talk about a little bit later.
deals.
But for now, we're just going to tease you a little bit.
Yeah, teasing.
A little foreplay.
I don't even know what that means.
Teasing and a pleasing. That's what I like to call it.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
And have a great time.
Sorry we probably offended you.
Bye bye now.